Okay, so I just gotta get this off my chest. To anyone that's ever dealt with asshole customers, I want you to imagine being a restaurant employee and getting yelled at by some prick that threatens your job by calling your manager. That's the God. Fuck that. I mean, that's what happened to me today at Subway because I work there. Some father of two kids he just lost it because he wanted to get sodas for his kids' meals, even though the Subway franchise that I work at doesn't offer that. You can't just switch in the juice boxes and milks for sodas, and it charges just for you like $5. And he wasn't the first person to get upset about that and say that the Subways have done that too, but then this guy says he worked at a Subway before, and that he knows all the little tips and tricks that we pull to make more money, and that this is so that we can make more money for our paychecks. But there's a few problems with this. The first is that Subway and practically every other restaurant changes over time. So whatever he knew back when he was working at Subway at my age, which he also said, and he's much older than me, what he knew would have been outdated. And the next, we earn wages based on how many number of hours we worked. However much money Subway makes doesn't have any bearing on what we make on our paychecks. And probably the dumbest thing is that after I rang up the items for his kids meals, the sandwich, the toy, the cookie, and the juice box, he accused me of lowering the total of the price after he threatened to call the manager. But the register groups everything together so that the toy, the food, all that stuff, it gets lumped together as one flat $5 instead of charging them individually. It would have been $10 if the food, the toy, the drink, all that was separate. It would have been double that. And then my boss argued with him after. Well, she didn't argue with him. I told my coworkers about that. They told my boss, and she said it was okay about it. And my coworkers let me go home early. I thank them for that because I just needed to. It was just stressful to deal with people like that, and that's not even the first time that I've had to deal with customers that are unreasonable just because they didn't get their way. One of the more recent incidents came after the quarantine, the COVID quarantine, the pandemic, social distancing, and all that was a bit lowered. I'd say it was a few weeks ago, 3 weeks, I think. And there was a black woman with her daughter. It was a fairly normal sandwich making process. They were just telling me what to get, what they wanted. She was tapping the glass, and I politely told her not to tap the glass because spreading the germs and all that. And she reacted by aggressively poking the glass with all five fingers like this, like this. She just tapped it so aggressively, and it was annoying. It was more than annoying. It startled me. It was like, oh my god. After the woman tapped the glass, her daughter spoke up and told her mom, like, "Mom, stop!" Like the little girl, like 4 or 5 year old girl, knew that her mother wasn't acting the way, calmly. Even though I didn't like yell at her or anything, I didn't like say, "Please don't do that, stop it," or was being rude about it. I just said, "Could you please not tap the glass, please?" And then just out of nowhere, it went from 0 to 100 real quick, and I, what is it with this? Does the quarantine just make people's brains not work and not behave like rational people? I just don't understand what could cause someone to just switch like that. I don't get it. And I think the absolute worst experience I had with an asshole customer was early this year. It was this older black man. He was ordering a sandwich in the morning shift, and he got upset that I was charging him extra for additional meat that he requested I put on the sandwich, and that we have signs that say if you can add more meat for like $1 or $2 extra. And he got very argument he got very uh, argumentative, and after a while he just fed up and told me just go back to the border. And he's like, he didn't want to pay like an extra $3 for what he told me to put on. And then my boss argued with me too. It's just like the rest of the day was a fucking mess. I just couldn't keep thinking about anything else but what happened, and I just got this heavy feeling in my throat, like when you're sad and you want to cry, and the lump in your throat was really painful. Like it felt like that, but I didn't want to cry. I just felt fucking mad. Just, I don't know what would make anyone act that way to a customer. Like and the fact that he's black. Like you think racism is fucking horrible. Why would a black person be racist to someone else? Just I don't get it. It was I don't know, man. I just don't know. I don't know if I have much advice to anyone that goes through this. But man, it is. I wish that none of this was anything I had to go through, or that anyone else had to go through. There are people that do this for their entire goddamn lives, and they go through worse than what I go through. It's it's amazing to me. It really is how little empathy people have. They're like so entitled because they're customers and think the customer is always right, which I think is now more and more starting to become a bit more of a bad mentality to let people have, and that these people can just boss others around and not get any consequences. Fuck, man. That's it. I gotta sit down. I gotta cool off somehow. Just fuck these people, man.